ignorance is paraded by the left on this issue, by the president of the United States. His ignorance on the issue of guns, which is a constitutionally protected right, the right to bear arms. The fact that he doesn't know what he's talking about is in no way for Democrats an impediment or a source of any, of any embarrassment, certainly. You had Joe and Jill Biden calling in yesterday. It's Thanksgiving Day, Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade. I'm here in New York City. The parade. Did any of you guys? Did any of you go to parades? The only parades that I tend to like are veterans. I like Veterans Day parades because I love showing the love for the veterans, and any parade with bagpipes. Something about people marching with the bagpipes. I feel like William Wallace grabbing my claymore, the sword, not the landmine, and ready to run out there and take the fight to the enemy. I don't know. Bagpipes get me fired up. Not a huge parade goer myself. I'm sure it's a lot of fun for the kids. But Joe and Jill Biden called in yesterday to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade, and I think this is kind of a metaphor for their presidency, for his presidency. Here's what it sounded like.
Hello, Mr. President? I don't think I can hear you. Can you hear me, Mr. President?
Yeah. Yes, we hear it.
Hello? Happy Thanksgiving, Mr. President. Are you there?
Well, we're here.
Oh!
Happy Thanksgiving.
He's like, is the phone? Is that a phone thing? Am I supposed to yell into the phone? I'm going to whisper creepy style. Yeah, there you go. There was a little bit of a moment there. Couldn't reach him. And you say, well, of course, maybe the cell phone service is bad. It's a parade. You can hear it in the background. But maybe they also just caught him kind of doing the thing he does where it seems like he might be napping, but he's actually awake. His eyes are open, but it's like not really clear. They're not even paying attention. More to the point on policy, though. He did say recently that he thinks that we should, do we have him saying, guys, that he wants to ban, or basically he was complaining about the sale of semi-automatic weapons. He was doing a press event. We can grab this one for later. He was doing a press event up in Nantucket, and Biden talked about how he's got to get new gun restrictions. And this was the quote from him, which maybe we can pull. The idea we still allow semi-automatic weapons to be purchased is sick, Biden said. Just sick. It has no socially redeeming value. Zero, none. Not a single solitary rationale except profit for the gun manufacturers. So I guess we were all supposed to use like a flintlock, maybe a muzzle loader, black powder. Semi-automatic. What weapons does he think? Oh, you could have like old school. Wasn't it Elmer Fudd who had the side-by-side old school shotgun? You see a lot of over-unders now. I haven't seen a side-by-side shotgun in a long time. But you can have the Elmer Fudd shotgun, basically. And remember, Joe Biden also, not exactly a firearms expert. Maybe I'll grab this one, too, for later so people can take a trip down memory lane. Remember when he said, buy a shotgun. Buy a shotgun. And then he said, when the bad guys are there, just fire it off in the air. It's like, I don't think firing off a slug in a densely populated residential area as a warning shot because you think there might be a burglar, but who knows? Maybe it's a neighbor's cat. That is a really bad idea and could also violate a whole bunch of laws. So probably bad advice for everybody. But look, the Biden administration is leading into the fact that they're going to be around now for 2 more years. You're going to see, I think, some even crazier, more left-wing policy being pushed by them. They won't be able to get it through because of the Republican control in the House. But they're still going to make the case. They're still going to say it. They're going to get their base as fired up as possible. The media is going to be all in lockstep with them. And this is where they're going to try. If you look at, I think, the second term of the Obama administration, you have a pretty reliable template for what's going to be happening here. They went for Amnesty. They went for massive climate change regulation through executive order. Right? Those were the things. They got health care done for Obamacare in the first 4 years of Obama. And then it turned into the other two areas where they want total control and dominance. And it was on environmental issues through executive order, basically, and pushing for the massive amnesty, which everyone now recognizes it's at least 20 million. Right? They won't say that really out loud. You heard Chuck Schumer recently say, well, we don't really know what the number is. They know it's a lot more than the 12 million they've been saying for the last 15 years. That's for sure. Because we've had 5 million enter the country under Joe Biden's first 2 years in office, not even quite 2 years yet. So that means the number has to be close to 17, 18 million. And that's not including gotaways, visa overstays. So you're at least at 20 million. And there's some people probably shouting out right now, Buck, it's really actually more like 30, which if you talk to Border Patrol, they will say that is quite possibly the case. I've spoken to Border Patrol about this. They said the official number is ridiculous. But the truth is the Biden administration, even in the face of the red wave that splashed in the wrong states, and that's really how to think about it now. We had a basically, what was it now, an 8 million or a 9 million vote swing. 3 million additional Republicans voted over Democrats in the midterm election. And I think we were down 5 or 6 million votes to Democrats, maybe even 7 million votes the last time around. So you're looking at a massive swing toward Republicans, but we didn't clean up what we had to in certain key states in terms of election processes. We didn't play the game by the rules that they had. So, yeah, you can make the case the American people, by and large, are pretty frustrated with what has happened during the first 2 years of Biden. But the Biden regime now, especially given the fact that, you know, they managed to keep Senate control.
The idea we still allow semi-automatic weapons to be purchased is sick. It's just sick. It has no social redeeming value. Zero, none. Not a single solitary rationale for it except profit for the gun manufacturer.
Can you do anything about gun laws during the lame duck, sir?
I'm going to try.
What will you try and do?
I'm going to try to get rid of assault weapons.
Ideally, semi-automatic. Welcome to Clay and Buck. This is Buck. And Biden, I don't know. Does he actually want to ban semi-automatic weapons, which would be 99% of all guns? I mean, unless you have an FFL and you've got a full auto, or you've got something that's grandfathered in from way back in the day, or you've got a muzzle loader. I'm sure some of you enjoy shooting black powder rifles and things like that. There's more of the antique firearms. You're talking about firing semi-automatic weapons overwhelmingly, right? And yet here he is saying there's no benefit to those. You know, this is what happens with the gun control argument. It runs so much on emotion. And not actually facts, data, logic. And so they don't care. I always tell everybody this. It doesn't matter that they'll say, but we're going to ban chainsaw bayonets and bazooka machine gun flamethrowers. And you say, well, that's not really a thing. And what are you talking about? And they say, shut up. You don't care about people dying. Ignorance is paraded by the left on this issue, by the president of the United States. His ignorance on the issue of guns, which is a constitutionally protected right, the right to bear arms. The fact that he doesn't know what he's talking about is in no way for Democrats an impediment or a source of any, of any embarrassment, certainly, no matter how stupid the things are that they say. You all remember the chainsaw bayonet fiasco way back a few years. I think that was maybe it was after the mass shooting in Las Vegas. And I think it was USA Today that did this big picture of an AR-15 with a little mini chainsaw on the bottom. Like, see, look at how scary. And then people started photoshopping like a great white shark with a laser on its head. Put that on your AR-15, which, let's be honest, that would be amazing. Putting a little honey badger that has not been fed appropriately, attaching the honey badger to the bottom of your, put it on your rail system for your AR. Who's going to mess with your AR with honey badger attachment? So these are some of the things. They don't care, though.
They want to take your firearms away. There are constant shootings in places like Chicago and New Orleans and St. Louis and Baltimore. And there are shootings going on in the case of Chicago, for example, and in Baltimore, where it's very difficult to legally get firearms. The criminals already have guns and are using them to commit heinous crimes. But you, my friends, if you want to enjoy your Second Amendment rights, not allowed. Maybe you can have what the Pilgrims had, like a blunderbuss. Little Thanksgiving vibes there. The blunderbuss. Remember that one? You don't really see that one any. It kind of almost looked like a megaphone at the end. My understanding is not super accurate, but I shouldn't say things like that because we have a blunderbuss enthusiast in this audience who's going to call me out for it.